Bula, I'm Wame. Join me every weekday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. on The Center Show with classic hits from the 70s as well as the 80s right here on Gold FM.
Tonight, FBC secures historic sports contract. Permanent secretaries now in charge of hiring or firing civil servants in individual ministries. And lack of funds hinders village relocation in Tavua. Good evening and welcome to FBC News. I'm Amrita Priyadarshini. First up tonight, good news for all Fijian football fans. In a major announcement today, FBC, after key negotiations, has secured a historic deal to show English Premier League matches live on free-to-air television for the first time ever in the Pacific. This means football fans can, from October 20th, watch live matches of their favorite teams for free. We will have more on this in the Sports Bulletin. A Raki farmer has died in a road accident. The 35-year-old was allegedly hit by a vehicle along Mission Hill in Andovi, Raki last night. He was rushed to the Raki hospital but was pronounced dead on arrival. Police are calling for help with information on the alleged driver of the vehicle or information that could help identify the vehicle involved. 3 teams have been tasked with finding the driver or the car involved. The road death toll is now 30 compared to 34 for the same period last year. All permanent secretaries now have power to hire and fire civil servants within their ministries. This role has always been with the Public Service Commission, but the PSC sees this as a means of lifting the performance of ministries and departments. Vosita Kote Wasawasa reports.
The transition of powers from the Public Service Commission to the individual permanent secretaries is part of the civil service reform.
We need to work with the permanent secretaries to be able to allow for smooth transition to these powers. These are powers which will be exercised responsibly by permanent secretaries. The frameworks are there on how it should be exercised. The due process needs to be followed.
Permanent secretaries can now make appointments right up to the level of deputies. Chand adds what this means for the Public Service Commission is that they will now have new powers under the disciplinary tribunal.
There are also new powers for the Public Service Disciplinary Tribunal. It is now a constitutional office, it is an independent office, and it will determine in its own right disciplinary action which will be brought to the tribunal by the permanent secretaries.
Job applications that used to be sent to the PSC will now be directed to the individual ministries. All civil service reforms will now continue under the leadership of the permanent secretaries. Vasita Kotiwaswasa, FBC News.
The Climate Change Unit within the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is getting their affairs in order to start the relocation of Narikoso village in Tavua. As Eleanor Turangaivu finds out, funding is playing a huge role.
Narikoso villagers are now awaiting their relocation. According to the Rokotui, there is a process which needs to be followed.
The villages that will be relocated, they still await the SOP or the standard operating procedure for relocation that will be done in future.
2 land-owning units have donated part of their land to the people of Narikoso to resettle due to the rising sea level. However, a lack of money is delaying the process.
What MRD has done is they will identify the houses, and Foreign Affairs will look for funds to build the houses for those who have been affected.
Over the past few decades, the villagers have had to put up with the rising sea levels, and it might take a while before they can actually move to the new village site.
Right now, MRD and other government department are still working on the paperwork for it. So the exact timing is not really, I couldn't give you the exact timing right now.
The Rokotui has also confirmed that not all houses in Narikoso village will be relocated. Only those houses that have been affected by the rising sea level will move to the new site. Eleanor Turangaivu, FBC News.
All schools are going to be inspected to ensure they comply with fire safety standards. This is part of a major plan of the National Fire Authority in light of the recent spate of school fires. Epeli Tukuwasa reports.
Two major school fires, the Queen Victoria School fire and the Singatoka Methodist Primary School fire, is enough to prompt the NFA to take proactive measures.
We're planning to organize teams to organize and visit schools and conduct fire safety inspections so that we can give advice to school management and on the minimum fire safety compliance. So that's part of our plan.
The NFA is working closely with the Ministry of Education of having fire officers entering schools to do inspections.
We've written to the Ministry of Education and asking them if we can conduct inspections in schools and for us to discuss the minimum fire safety compliance in schools, just to ensure that should there be a fire, there's minimum, there's availability of equipment.
John O'Connor says they've also conducted awareness programs on fire safety measures for students.
In terms of awareness, we are going out and conducting awareness. All the schools come to us and most of the children are quite aware of what to do in case of a fire.
The NFA is trying its best to reduce fire risk and make sure all schools in Fiji comply with fire safety standards. Epeli Tukuwasa, FBC News.
Attorney General Aya Sayed Qayyum says Fiji's new constitution creates a sense of unity. Sayed Qayyum says this is apart from recognizing cultural and land rights and the fact that every Fiji citizen will be called a Fijian. He was at the Golden Water Carnival in Tavua last night, where he handed out hundreds of pocket-sized constitutions to the public.
We all talk about Australia and America and England and Europe and even China and places like India that have been very successful. The only reason they have been successful, they are prosperous, is because all the citizens are focused and are united behind their country. And this is what Fiji needs.
After the break, Tavua's Gold and Water Carnival hailed a success.
Or you could spend it like this.
Tune in to the morning ride every weekday morning from 9 a.m. till 12 p.m. right here on Today FM, Today's Hit Music.
Nisambulo binaka oya wone kamanalangi oni nandorungo diao mena diwa kina rua na bisinga mena moniti kina bagarumbuka na Radio Fiji wana ndoma ibiti bongani bianyano nama katalengana bengo na sasibiani na tinna kaloka na bembongi ni bukilulu kena bima mani walu na bembongi ni bakarowai mena mbuza ni balu ninge namaka.
Welcome back here with FBC News. The Ministry of Social Welfare, Women and Poverty Alleviation isn't expecting a large increase in its budget allocation next year. Minister Dr. Chikuluveni says they have savings from the 2013 budget allocation.
The ministry received about $38 million this year for its projects, but not all the money has been used up.
For various reasons, particularly, especially if there are people out there have not actually applied, although we have in our statistics that so many of our people are living under poverty line, which means that we can project the budget that is required to cater for these groups.
With the savings from 2013, Dr. Luveni says her ministry will be able to expand services to areas where the need is urgent.
For next year, we'll be able to move the budget from social welfare and from women around to cater for the needs of the whole ministry.
Establishing more women's resource centers and a number of women empowerment projects have already been planned for the new year.
We will increase coverage of the projects that are currently being undertaken, and the only the new project is the inclusion of reproductive health services through the women's groups.
The 2014 budget announcement will be held on 8th November. Sharin Lata, FBC News.
Miss Tavua Levu village, Andi Maraya Mataitini, has been crowned at the inaugural Gold and Water Carnival Queen in Tavua. The 4-day festival has been hailed as a success, raising $62,000 for charity. Christopher Chand reports.
The small town of Tavua came alive last night, celebrating one of its first festivals, hosted at Gavi Park. Andi Maraya Mataitini being crowned as the Miss Gold and Water Carnival.
I wasn't expecting to win this. I'm sitting for our exam this term. It is a very...
The 7 contestants raised $62,000. Miss Charity, Ashmika Devi, collected over $10,000.
Put our hands together for the Queens for their wonderful effort in raising the money that they have. And as you know, that the monies that are raised through this carnival will go towards the beautification of Tavua.
Miss Personality was won by Monica Singh, but the biggest winner was the festival itself. The huge turnout and encouraging responses have been exactly what the organizers were hoping for.
That our target was $50,000. We have collected $62,143.
And that's a lot of money for a town like Tavua?
Yes, it is. As I said on day one, that Tavua is a very small town, but a very vibrant community.
Organizers are already planning a bigger event next year and hope to rake in over $100,000 for charity. Christopher Chand, FBC News.
Global HIV/AIDS statistics indicate a gradual reduction, but the same can't be said for Fiji. The Health Ministry's annual report states that cases here are widespread and much still needs to be done. The report states that 70% of new HIV/AIDS cases detected last year were from the Central Division, mainly from the Suva-Nosori corridor. Fiji does not have a HIV epidemic. However, there is an STI pandemic, and in comparison to global rates, it's considered much higher. The report says a major cause of HIV transmission is sexual, and given the high rates of STI, it's imperative to change individual behavior and pursue safe sexual practices. It adds Fiji has a HIV decree and awareness needs to be done at all levels. People living outside urban centres can expect a better response from the National Fire Authority after a review of its laws. The review is in line with the government's intention to expand the authority's services. Akusita Tale has more.
The recent increase in property fires, schools and bushfires has kept the NFA pretty busy, especially in the Western Division.
One is for the National Fire Authority to expand its services to become more emergency services, and secondly is to expand our services outside the fire boundaries, the city and town boundaries, and provide service to members of the communities.
At the moment, each division has only one fire station which responds to emergencies even in remote locations. Chief Fire Officer John O'Connor says they hope to set up new bases outside of urban areas.
There's a fire in maybe Corvisulu, then the Pacific Harbour station responds all the way. But if we change the legislation and ensure, then we're looking at options of establishing a fire station nearer to the communities.
Awareness is still the key, and the NFA is running campaigns in areas as far as Lau and Kandavu.
Legislation is to make sure that we expand our services and make it accessible to the members of the community, bring it closer to them. And that could mean establishment of volunteers and so forth.
O'Connor adds the review of the legislation will give them a better platform to provide better services at a minimum cost and reduce the risk of fires. To date, there have been 72 property fires this year compared to 65 for the same period last year. Akusita Tale, FBC News.
Up ahead in sports, all the details about FBC's plans for the English Premier League.
Bola
Oya wasala bilawa. Do pataki au mena diwa kina tini karona kaloko na single boni moniti kina bagaromboka. Kako ni valatana no musini sari na kaisa mariando loloma leone vani ni nau. Omgori ke de mena diwa kina tini karona kaloko na single boni moniti kina bagaromboka na Bula FM number 2 en sere.
जहाँ हो प्यार का बसेरा और रिश्तों की खुशबू, वो है आपका अपना घर संसार. Join me on Ghar Sansar, Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. till 12 p.m. only on Radio Fiji 2.
Leading FBC Sports tonight, and as mentioned at the start, FBC has secured the rights to show the English Premier League live. This will see a total of 62 live matches aired on FBCTV starting from October 20th up until May. Indra Singh has all the details.
The news all Fijian football fans have been waiting for is finally out.
FBC to be the first free-to-air broadcaster in the Pacific for the first time to be televising EPL live for the public is a major and huge achievement. And I'd like to thank our team for it, because this is, it's a very, very happy day for us.
Following a public outcry about the EPL not being shown in the country, FBC has decided to bring the world's most famous club football league to your screens. After intense negotiations, FBC has managed to secure the historic deal, which will see EPL matches screened live on free-to-air TV for the first time in the region.
Intense and expensive. So in the end, we had to make some very, very quick decisions, because these things happen very, very quickly. And I'm just glad that I've got a very, very strong team that I work with, and everyone pitched in. We worked extremely hard. A lot of people helped out in this, and we're just glad that we've taken a big risk to bring this for the people of Fiji. Because I say this specifically for the people of Fiji, because we know for a fact that there are thousands of football fans in the country that have been dying to watch this on television, whether it be on pay or free-to-air. That's how much EPL is sought after. That's how popular EPL is. But we thought, why, leave it for only those who can afford it? Why not bring it to everyone in Fiji?
However, while the news is good for thousands of football fans from all walks of life, this is something which Syed Kayum says comes at a price which FBC is ready to give to its viewers free of charge.
That's why we're so proud, because we've been able to do things for the public of Fiji that no other broadcaster has been able to do before. And, and you don't have to be a rocket scientist to be able to do this. It just takes a lot of determination. It takes a great team to be able to do this. It takes a whole lot of determination. And I think it takes focus to be able to do everything for the people of Fiji, always keeping that in mind. And that's why FBC has been able to establish very quickly, in less than 2 years, our stand as the people's television. Whenever we do something, we involve the public. We have the public at heart. We get public's views on this. All you have to do is to go out tomorrow and talk to the public and ask them what they feel about FBC getting the rights. The difference is clear.
He is also calling on all potential sponsors to grab this opportunity to be part of an historical occasion, which will be remembered for a long time to come.
A win-win situation for whoever gets on board to support this and sponsor this, because all business houses will have so many add-ons in terms of marketing, apart from just normal TV and radio marketing, which only FBC can offer. It's the website and all these other things as well, that the add-ons themselves are worth thousands and thousands of dollars in terms of marketing. So it's a win-win situation for everyone. It's a win-win situation for Fiji, for the people of Fiji. You'll be able to watch free live-to-air EPL for the first time ever in the history of this country. It's a win-win situation for FBC, because we're getting the greatest football tournament in the world, possibly the greatest sporting tournament in the world, and it's a win-win situation for our potential sponsors as well, because they'll get the maximum exposure that they've ever had for their products. We have put down Monday the 13th of this month, which is Monday week, at 3 p.m. We are calling on all sponsors. We are opening this up. We've never done this before. Usually when we have something to sponsor, we will go and approach sponsors privately. But what we are saying to sponsors, potential sponsors, we obviously have packages for this. Monday the 13th at 3 p.m. If you're interested in EPL, if you're interested in supporting the people of Fiji to be able to watch quality sports on free-to-air television, live and direct and free, then please come to FBC at 3 o'clock, sign up for a package that will ensure that we show EPL in its entirety, not only throughout this season, but continue to do this year in, year out for the next few years.
The action is never dull in the EPL, and FBC will each week, starting from October 20th, show 2 live games. And not to miss out on any of the other action, there is also the preview, review and magazine shows which will also be aired on a weekly basis.
You asked for it, and FBC, where the difference is clear, has delivered. All you have to do is sit back and enjoy the best action, and that too without having to fork out a single cent. I am excited, so should you be.
Sports is paramount for all Fijians, which unites this country. FBC, renowned for its efforts in nation building, is just adding another super event to its list of top quality programs for all to enjoy. So let's all say together, bring on the EPL. Indra Singh, FBC Sports.
Hosea Kolinisau and Westfield Barbarians playmaker Wesea Nadhungu have been drafted in the Digital Fiji Sevens team to the Gold Coast Sevens. Injuries to Sunia Kumbu and Nipi halfback Kameli Namoa has seen Kolinisau and Nadhungu push their win. Coach Ben Ryan had indicated before the tournament that if he did select players for Gold Coast, it will be those who have been named in the reserves. He says this was because the reserves already had visas to go to Australia. Fiji departs for Australia tomorrow. This means that Ryan has only 3 days to make the much-needed improvements in the team. Gold Coast 7 starts Saturday with Fiji in Pool C with Canada, Portugal and Wales. The Jet Runners Club is hoping that the Fiji National Sports Commission and Athletics Fiji turn their attention towards untapped talent in rural areas. The club, after their cross-country race last week, discovered a few athletes that could do Fiji proud in long-distance events. One of them was barefoot runner George Vuki.
He ran barefoot 6 kilometers on the gravel road, around the crane field. So this is something very interesting for Fiji. Not only for Jet Runners Club, but Fiji Athletics too. I think we should start going to the rural areas and look for the talents like Vuki. And I talked to his real Nike elevation on Facebook, and I also talked to Vuki's family. Now I want to help him.
Major centres experienced either rain or cloudy conditions. There wasn't even a hint of sunshine in the burning Western Division. Turning to the temperature chart, slightly chilly for Savu Savu with 26 degrees, Suva, Nadi and Lambasa hitting the high 20s, while neighbours Lautoka and Ba steady at 30 degrees. The rain won't leave us just yet. Suva is forecast to experience rain for most of the day. For all other areas, cloudy conditions will turn to rain right from the morning, so expect showers for most of the day tomorrow. The further outlook, rainy conditions with moderate seas, northeast winds 15 knots. For mariners, poor visibility in areas of heavy rain and possible thunderstorms. Now the headlines once again, Fiji Broadcasting Corporation has secured a historic deal to show English Premier League matches live on free-to-air television. Permanent Secretary is now in charge of hiring or firing civil servants in individual ministries. And lack of funds hinders village relocation in Tavua. To the poll question now. Can Fiji defend its Gold Coast Sevens title? Visit www.fbc.com.fj to take part. Remember to send us newsworthy pictures and videos. Email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj. That's all from the newsroom tonight. I'll be back again next weekend. Until then, have a safe and productive week. Good night.
आपकी शादी होने वाली है। 5 बच्चे होंगे। 5 हाय, मैं हूँ आपकी सहेली वेणु। सुनते रहिए मिर्च एफएम। मैं हूँ ना 9 से 12 बजे तक।